kindergarten. Are you guys ready to do a couple of math problems for today? Just to practice. We are going to, you can use your whiteboard, but I'm going to do a lot of stuff on my whiteboard, so if you want to just follow along, you can, or you can make the number sentences and the number bond on your board too. Okay, so we're going to start by telling a little story, and I'm going to use my magnets as my story pieces today because I'm going to tell you a story about bears, but I don't have my bears here at home. They're still at school, so we're going to use magnets instead. But we're going to pretend that my magnets are little bears, and in my story, there's 9 bears playing in the woods, but all of a sudden, one bear, his mom calls and says that he has to go home for dinner. So he goes home for dinner. And I want to know how many bears are going to be left. That's my problem that I'm going to solve. So in order to solve it, I want us first to think about how this story would fit in a number bond. So I put together 2 parts now. I have the bears who stayed, and I have the bear who left. So probably you can figure out how to put that into the number bond with me. So go ahead and do that on your number bond if you had it. So I have one bear who had to go home. And I have, look, it's in the 5 group. 5, 6, 7, 8 bears who got to stay and play. And I know that before I started, when this guy was still playing with his friends, I had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or I know that 8 and 1 make 9. And I told you that in my story. Now our job is to make a number sentence. And when we make our number sentence, I have a subtraction or a takeaway sign here, but it's important that we think about our story. So if I think back to the beginning of my story, and I told you that one bear had to go home, I have to ask myself, am I putting something together or am I taking it away? And in this one, I'm taking a magnet away from my 2 rows, or from my bears. So once I take this away, I know that I'm going to use a subtraction sentence this time and a subtraction sign. So I wrote my subtraction sentence. But now I need to know where to plug in all of these numbers because it's kind of tricky. And with subtraction, the very first number is so important. What I always like to say about subtraction to help me remember is subtraction starts with the whole. Subtraction starts with the whole. And when I have a number bond, I have part, whole. So I know that 9 is always going to be the number I start with, or whatever number would go in the whole, because that's the number I'm taking away from. I had 9, and I'm taking away 1. So I say 9, take away. How many did I take away? 1. And now using my number bond, if I didn't remember what 9 minus 1 was, or if I had a more tricky problem, I could just cover up the 1 in my number bond. And if I do that, I have my 8 left. So equals 8. So let's read that together. 9 minus 1 equals 8. Now I have a few mistakes to make on purpose so that you can see why we can't make those mistakes. The first mistake that sometimes we could make if we're not being careful is that I might go like this. 9 minus 8 equals 1. Now this is true. 9 minus 8 would give me 1. But when I'm talking about a numbers story, I have to make sure I pay attention to what happened in the story. In this story, I didn't take away 8. 8 bears didn't have to go home. Only 1 bear had to go home. So I need to make sure that I do a takeaway 1, just like we had it. Now here is the other very tricky thing, is that we get very used to writing addition sentences. And we get very used to putting the parts first instead of the whole. And we might even see the subtraction sentence, but we might be so used to writing our addition sentences that I have seen this happen before. Watch this. This is crazy. I just took my 2 parts and I put those here first. Let's read this number sentence. 8 minus 1 equals 9. What? if I have 8 fingers up and I take away 1, do I get 9? No, I get 5, 6, 7. So this is not true. If I read my number sentence back, it's not true. It doesn't work. X, X. That's not true. If I had an addition sign here, it would be 8 plus 1 equals 9. But I have my subtraction sentence. So I have to be very careful with those. Okay, go ahead and erase your boards and let's try one more. This time, instead of having 9 magnets, I'm going to add 1 more and make it 10. And this time I want to pretend that my magnets are trains at the train station. And they are getting ready to go somewhere. Let's say they're going to go to Disneyland. And the first ones to leave the train are going to be these guys. So 4 leave the train station, and I want to know how many are left. P.S. Can you see how easy it is for you to see how many are left when it's in a 5 group? 6. You know how to count that so well. So first try to fill in your number bond with the 2 parts in the whole. So think about what I had before I started, and then think about my 2 groups here. And you should have something that looks like this. Capiche? Way to go. Okay, now let's get ready for the number sentence. And you try your number sentence. Dun, dun, dun. This is right, right? 4 minus 6 equals 10. What does subtraction start with again? Subtraction starts with the whole. The whole. 10 train cars. Take away 4 train cars gives you 6 train cars. There we go. This one is happy. Missy thought I was being silly before. It looks like it doesn't have eyes though. There we go. Alrighty, well, way to go, and good luck on your practicing today, and thank you for practicing with me, and I hope you have a great day.